Dear friends, I am Dr. Santosh Desai and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss linear differential equation with constant coefficient of order n. So the purpose of this video is to introduce rules to find the complementary functions. So these rules are very much useful to solve the linear differential equation with constant coefficient of order n. So let us we define first linear differential equation with constant coefficient of order n. An equation of the form dny by dx raised to n plus a1 d raised to n minus 1 y by dx raised to n minus 1 plus and so on plus an minus 1 dy by dx plus an y is equal to x, where a1, a2 and so on an are constants and x is either function of x or constant, is called linear differential equation with constant coefficient of order n. Now one can verify what is meant by linear differential equation with the definition given at the bottom of the page. Now here in the RHS, if x is equal to 0 for all values of x, then the equation 1 is called homogeneous. Otherwise, it is called non-homogeneous equation. Now we introduce a differential operator capital D. Let us introduce the differential operator capital D is equal to d by dx, so that dy by dx is equal to capital D into y, and therefore d2y by dx square is equal to d square y. Continuing in this way, d raised to n y by dx raised to n is equal to capital D raised to n into y. Then equation 1 becomes, so at the bottom of this page the equation 1 is recalled. Now you just put the values in this equation. So this equation takes the form capital D raised to n y plus a1 d raised to n minus 1 into y plus a2 d raised to n minus 2 into y plus and so on plus an minus 1 dy plus any is equal to capital X. Now rewriting this, we get in bracket d raised to n plus a1 d raised to n minus 1 plus a2 d raised to n minus 2 plus and so on plus an minus 1 d plus an into y is equal to x. Now here one can notice that the bracketed term is a function of d only, whereas this a1, a2 and so on an are constant. So this bracket can be replaced by function of d. So therefore we get f of d of y is equal to x, where this f of d is equal to d raised to n plus a1 d raised to n minus 1 plus a2 d raised to n minus 2 plus and so on plus an minus 1 into d plus an. And this f of d is a polynomial in d, and the equation f of d of y is equal to x is called symbolic form of equation 1, that is symbolic form of linear differential equation of order n. Now we consider two theorems on solution of differential equation. So the first one, let us consider statement only. If y is equal to y1, y is equal to y2 and so on y is equal to yn are n linearly independent solutions of the differential equation, then d raised to ny plus a1 d raised to n minus 1y plus a2 d raised to n minus 2y plus and so on plus an minus 1 dy plus any is equal to 0. Then u is equal to c1y1 plus c2y2 plus c3y3 plus and so on cn is also its solution, where c1, c2 and so on cn are arbitrary constant. So here y is equal to y1 and y is equal to y2 and so on y is equal to yn are the solutions of homogeneous differential equation, that is whose RHS is 0. Then the linear combination, that is c1y1 plus c2y2 plus c3y3 and so on cnyn is also a solution of the same equation. So this statement can be rewrite in another language as Linear combination of linearly independent solution of the differential equation is again solution of that equation. So if you have the n solutions, then their linear combination is also a solution of that equation. So that is the theorem. Now consider one more. If y is equal to u is the complete solution of the equation f of d of y equal to 0, and y equal to v is a particular solution, that is containing no arbitrary constant, of the equation f of d of y equal to x, then the complete solution of the equation f of d of y equal to x is y equal to u plus v. So let us consider the proof for this. So here given that y is equal to u is the complete solution of the equation f of d of y equal to 0. Now we know that if some relation is a solution of the equation, then that relation must satisfy that differential equation. So therefore here u satisfies the given equation. So therefore we get f of d u is equal to 0. Now again given that y is equal to v is a particular solution. Now particular solutions means which has no arbitrary constant. Now y equal to v is a particular solution of f of d of y is equal to x. So again here v satisfies this equation. So therefore f of d into v is equal to x. Now we have to show y is equal to u plus v is a complete solution of the equation f of d of y is equal to x. So let us consider f of d of y is equal to, just I put the values of y, so we get f of d into bracket u plus v. So this is equal to f of du plus f of dv. Now we know these two values, so putting the values you will get 0 plus x, and this is equal to x. So this shows that y is equal to u plus v satisfies the equation f of d of y is equal to x, and therefore it is a solution of the given equation. Now here y is equal to u plus v contains n arbitrary constants, because u contains n constant and v is a free from arbitrary constant. So therefore u plus v contains n constants, and hence y is equal to u plus v is complete solution of f of d of y is equal to x. Now let us take one note here. The part y is equal to u is called complementary function and will be obtained from f of d of y equal to 0, and the part y is equal to v is called particular integral and will be obtained from whole equation f of d of y is equal to x. So therefore the complete solution of the equation f of d of y is equal to x is y is equal to cf plus pi. Now to solve the equation f of d of y is equal to x, that is to solve linear differential equation of order n, first we find complementary function, that is complete solution of homogeneous differential equation, that is f of d of y equal to 0, and then find particular integral from the given equation f of d of y is equal to x, and combine these cf and pi, one can get the complete solution of the given equation. Now here we take one note. So if x is equal to 0, then in this case pi will be 0, and thus the complete solution is y is equal to cf only. So the complete solution of homogeneous differential equation is just cf only. Now let us consider the very important part of this topic, that is how to find the complementary function. So let us consider the given equation. So it is written in the form of d raised to n plus a1 d raised to n minus 1 plus and so on an minus 1 t plus an into y is equal to 0. So where a1, a2 and so on an are constants. Now here we note that this bracketed term is a polynomial in D and also it is of degree n. So therefore by fundamental theorem of algebra, the equation d raised to n plus a1 d raised to n minus 1 plus and so on plus an is equal to 0 has exactly n roots. So let us take these roots be m1, m2 and so on, mn be the roots of equation 2. The equation 2 is called auxiliary equation. Now the solution of equation 1 depends on the nature of the roots of the auxiliary equation. So followings are the various cases. Now case 1, if all the roots of auxiliary equations are real and distinct. If this is the case, then let us see how to write the complementary function. So let m1, m2 and so on mn be the n roots of the equation, and suppose that all the roots are real and distinct. Then the complementary function can be written as, first you take one constant c1 into e raised to first root m1 into independent variable x plus next constant c2 e raised to next root m2 into independent variable x plus c3 e raised to m3x plus and so on plus cn e raised to mnx. So you remember this rule. So when all the roots of the auxiliary equations are real and distinct, then the complementary function is given by c1 e raised to m1x plus c2 e raised to m2x plus c3 e raised to m3x plus and so on plus cn e raised to mnx. So this is our first rule. Now, if two roots of the auxiliary equations are real and also equal, that means if m1 is equal to m2 and these are the two repeated roots, and m3, m4 and so on mn are again real and distinct. If this is the case, then the complementary function is given by. Now, if two roots are repeated, then you write the term c1x plus c2 into e raised to repeated root, that is m1x. So this is the term, this is the factor when the two roots are repeated. So remember, if two roots are repeated, then complementary function is given by, first we write c1x plus c2 into e raised to that repeated root into independent variable plus, now remaining m3, m4 and so on mn are again real and distinct. So one can apply the case 1 and one can write c3 e raised to m3x plus and so on plus cn e raised to mnx. Now this is when two roots are repeated. Now suppose three roots are repeated. So let us take this as a note. Let m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m3 be the three equal roots of the auxiliary equation, and suppose that the remaining roots are real and distinct, then the complete solution of the equation is. Now in the previous case, two roots are repeated, so therefore we have taken the term c1x plus c2. Now here three roots are repeated, so therefore we take the term first c1x square plus c2x plus c3 into e raised to repeated root plus again remaining roots are real and distinct, so we get c4 e raised to m4x plus and so on plus cn e raised to mnx. So remember, if three roots are repeated, then first we write the term c1x square plus c2x plus c3 into e raised to repeated root, that is m1 into independent variable x, and plus c4 e raised to m4x plus and so on plus cn e raised to mnx. Now let us consider case 3, if two roots of the auxiliary equations are imaginary, that is complex. So let us take m1 is equal to alpha plus I beta and m2 is equal to alpha minus I beta be two imaginary roots, and suppose m3, m4 and so on mn are real and distinct roots of the equation f of d is equal to 0. If this is the case, then complementary function is given by cf is equal to, first you write the term e raised to alpha x, where you take this alpha is nothing but the real part of the given two complex numbers. So first you write e raised to alpha x into C1 cos beta x plus C2 sin beta x. So in the two numbers, the values of alpha is same, but the signs of beta are both are different. So here we take the number only. So the CF can be written as, first you write e raised to real part of that complex number. So e raised to alpha x into C1 cos beta x plus C2 sin beta x, and plus again by rule 1 C3 e raised to m3x plus and so on Cn e raised to mnx. So this is the rule when two roots of the auxiliary equations are complex or imaginary. Now consider the last case. If two pairs of imaginary roots are equal, that means two complex numbers are repeated. So let us take m1 is equal to m2 is equal to alpha plus I beta, and m3 is equal to m4 is equal to alpha minus I beta. That is, two imaginary roots are repeated, and remaining all are again real and distinct. Then by case 2 and case 3, the complete solution is given by. So first we apply the case 3. So CF is equal to, since the roots are imaginary, so therefore we write e raised to alpha x. Now in case 2, we have seen there is a term C1 into cos beta x. There is a term C1x plus C2 if the two roots are repeated. Now here the roots are repeated, therefore we take C1x plus C2 into cos beta x plus C3x into C4 into sin beta x plus C5 e raised to m5x plus and so on Cn e raised to mnx. So when two pairs of imaginary roots are equal, then we take case 2 and case 3, and in this case the complementary function is written as, first you write e raised to real part into independent variable x into, now the roots are repeated two times, therefore we take the term c1x plus c2 into cos beta x because the roots are imaginary plus c3x plus c4 into sin beta x, and remainings are again real and distinct. So therefore one can write C5 e raised to m5x plus and so on Cn e raised to mnx. So these are the four rules which we need to solve the examples. Now let us summarize these four rules. Let m1, m2 and so on mn be the roots of the equation d raised to n plus a1 d raised to n minus 1 plus a2 d raised to n minus 2 and so on plus an is equal to 0. So let us consider the table. So in the column 1 we consider the various cases, and in column 2 consider the corresponding complementary function. So first one, if all the roots are real and distinct, then complementary function is given by C1 e raised to m1x plus C2 e raised to m2x plus and so on Cn e raised to mnx. If two roots are repeated, let us take m1 and m2 are repeated and remaining all are real and distinct, then CF is given by, first you write the term C1x plus C2 into e raised to repeated root into independent variable. So that is C1x plus C2 e raised to m1x plus C3 e raised to m3x plus and so on Cn e raised to mnx. Next, if three roots are repeated and remaining all are real and distinct, then CF can be given by C1x square plus C2x plus C3 e raised to m1x plus C4 e raised to m4x plus and so on Cn e raised to mnx. And if two roots are imaginary, that is m1 is equal to alpha plus I beta and m2 is equal to alpha minus I beta, then CF is given by, first you write e raised to alpha x. So here you take alpha as a number and into C1 cos beta x plus C2 sin beta x plus C3 e raised to m3x plus and so on plus Cn e raised to mnx. And if pair of imaginary roots are repeated, that is m1 is equal to m2 is equal to alpha plus I beta and m3 is equal to m4 is equal to alpha minus I beta, then CF can be obtained by combining case 2 and case 3. So we get y is equal to e raised to alpha x into c1x plus c2 into cos beta x plus c3x plus c4 into sin beta x plus c5 e raised to m5x plus and so on plus cn e raised to mn x. Now this is the very important part. If we know all these rules, then one can easily find the complementary function for the given equation. Now let us consider some examples. So let us consider first one. Solve d cube y by dx cube minus 2 d2y by dx square minus 5 dy by dx plus 6y is equal to 0. So let us consider the given equation, that is d cube y by dx cube minus 2 d2y by dx square minus 5 dy by dx plus 6y is equal to 0. First we write the auxiliary equation for this. So if there is a term of d cube y by dx cube, then replace it by capital D cube. Then next minus 2 is as it is. Then replace d2y by dx square by d square. So you'll get minus 2d square. Then minus 5 as it is, and dy by dx replace it by capital D. So you'll get minus 5d. And finally you skip the term of y and just you write the coefficient, its coefficient, that is plus 6 is equal to 0. So this is the auxiliary equation. Now I repeat how to write the auxiliary equation. If the first term is d cube y by dx cube, then your first term in the auxiliary equation is corresponding d cube. Then minus 2 you keep as it is. Then for the term d2y by dx square, write down capital D square. Minus 5, it's again a constant term, keep as it is, and replace dy by dx by capital D. And last term 6y, from this 6y you just skip that y and write down just plus 6, and this is equal to 0. Now we have to simplify this auxiliary equation. Now it is a cubic equation, that means it has a 3 roots. And to solve the cubic equation, we need synthetic division method. Now, we know that to apply the synthetic division method, we have to know one root by trial and error method. So let us put d is equal to 1 in this equation. If you put d is equal to 1, we will get, so when d is equal to 1, first term is 1 minus 2, that is minus 1, minus 1 minus 5 minus 6 plus 6, you will get 0. So d is equal to 1 is one root of this equation. So therefore by synthetic division method, so let us consider for synthetic division method. So at the top, first you write the coefficients of d in decreasing powers of d. So that means we have to start from coefficient of d cube first. So the coefficient of d cube is 1. Then coefficient of d square, that is minus 2. Coefficient of d, that is minus 5. And then constant term, that is 6. Then to the left of vertical line, we write the root, that is d is equal to 1, and below the horizontal line take the first element as it is. Now you take the multiplication of this first element and the root and write down below the second element, that is below the minus 2. So 1 into 1, so you write below that minus 2. Now add this minus 2 and 1, so you will get minus 1. Again multiply 1 into minus 1, we will get minus 1, and write down it below minus 5. Adding these we get minus 6, and again multiply 1 into minus 6, that is minus 6, and then you will get 0. Now this is our synthetic division method. Now by using this table, I am going to write this cubic equation as a product of linear and quadratic factor. Now the linear factor is obtained from the root, that is d is equal to 1 is the root. So you shift that 1 to the LHS, so you will get d minus 1. So that is our linear factor. And the quadratic factor is I'm going to write by using the numbers below that horizontal line. Now below that horizontal lines are numbers are 1, minus 1 and 6. And these are the coefficients of d square, d and constant term. So the first number is coefficient of d square, second number is coefficient of d, and third number is your constant term. So let us consider. Then d cube minus 2d square minus 5d plus 6 is equal to first linear factor, that is d minus 1, and then quadratic factor, that is d square minus d minus 6, and this is equal to 0. Now here one can check the coefficient of d square is 1, coefficient of d is minus 1, and the constant term is minus 6. One can verify the same numbers are at the bottom of that, or at the below that horizontal line. Now I'm going to simplify this. So let us consider then d minus 1 into d square minus d minus 6 is equal to 0. So this implies that d minus 1 equal to 0, or d square minus d minus 6 is equal to 0. Now this again gives d is equal to 1. Now this is a quadratic formula. This is a quadratic equation. So therefore the roots are d is equal to. Now to simplify quadratic, we know that if the roots of equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 are given by x is equal to minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Now this is our formula. Now you compare this equation ax square plus bx plus c with our quadratic equation, that is d square minus d minus 6. We get the values of a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 1, and c is equal to minus 6. Now substituting these values in above formula, then we get d is equal to, so first 1 plus minus square root of 1 minus 4, a is 1 and c is minus 6, and divided by 2. Now simplify this square root, we get, so the first term d is equal to 1 as it is, and 1 plus minus 5 divided by 2. Simplifying, take 1's plus and 1's minus and simplify this. So you'll get 1 minus 2 and 3. So therefore the roots are 1 minus 2 and 3. Here all the roots are real and distinct. So therefore the complementary function is CF is equal to, take one constant, e raised to first root 1 into independent variable plus next constant e raised to next root into independent variable. So e raised to minus 2x plus next constant c3 into e raised to next root into independent variable. So that is c3 into e raised to 3x. Now again here x is equal to 0. So therefore pi is equal to 0. And in this case the complete solution is y is equal to c1 e raised to x plus c2 e raised to minus 2x plus c3 e raised to 3x. And this is the required answer. Now let us consider one more example. Solve d cube y by dx cube minus 3 d2y by dx square plus 4 dy by dx minus 2y is equal to 0. Now again let us consider the given equation as it is. Now write down the auxiliary equation. The auxiliary equation is d cube minus 3d square plus 4d minus 2 is equal to 0. Now again it is a cubic equation, so you have to apply the synthetic division method. So find out one root by trial and error method. So here d is equal to 1 is one root of this equation. So therefore by synthetic division method, first you write the coefficients of d in decreasing order of d. So we get 1 minus 3, 4 minus 2, and d is equal to 1 is the root. Take first number below that horizontal line and take the multiplication of these two and write down below the second number, that is minus 3. So the multiplication is 1, adding these two we get minus 2. Again multiply 1 and minus 2 and write below the 4, it is minus 2. Adding these two we get 2. Again multiplication is 2 and addition is 0. Now here again I am going to express this cubic equation as a product of linear and quadratic factor. So therefore d cube minus 3d square plus 4d minus 2 is equal to, linear factor is d minus 1 and quadratic factor is d square minus 2d plus 2. Now this is equal to 0. Now therefore d minus 1 into d square minus 2d plus 2 is equal to 0. Now simplifying this, you will get d minus 1 equal to 0, or d square minus 2d plus 2 is equal to 0. So again, the second part, that is a quadratic equation. So by using the quadratic formula, we get d is equal to 1 for the first term, and for second term we get d is equal to 2 plus minus square root of 4 minus 4, a is 1 into c, that is 2, divided by 2. Now simplifying this second part, we get d is equal to 1 and 2 plus minus 2i divided by 2. So this again simplifying, d is equal to 1 and 1 plus minus I. Now here 1 is the real root and again the two imaginary roots are there. So to write the complementary function, here we have to combine two rules, that is rule 1 and also rule 3. So one real root is there, so therefore complementary function, for the real root take one constant e raised to x. Now here the imaginary roots are 1 plus or minus I, that is alpha is equal to 1 and beta is equal to 1. So therefore plus, first you write e raised to alpha x, alpha is 1, so you will get e raised to x into c1 c2 cos x plus c3 sin x. So this is the complementary function which is written by combining rule 1 and rule 3. And again x is equal to 0, that is RHS is 0. So therefore pi is equal to 0, and therefore the complete solution is y is equal to c1 e raised to x plus e raised to x into c2 cos x plus c3 sin x. Now let us consider the last one. Solve d2y by dx square minus 6dy by dx plus 9y is equal to 0. Again, let us consider the given equation, and the auxiliary equation is d square minus 6d plus 9 is equal to 0. So solving this, we get d is equal to 6 plus minus square root of 36 minus 4, a is 1 and c is 9 divided by 2. So this implies 6 plus minus 0 divided by 2. So simplifying this, we will get 3 and 3. So this is a repeated roots. Now if the roots are repeated, we know the rule 2. So therefore the complementary function is, first you take the term c1x plus c2. You can take c1x plus c2 or c1 plus c2x. So c1 plus c2x into e raised to 3x. This is a complementary function when two roots are repeated. And again RHS is 0, so therefore pi is equal to 0, and therefore the complete solution is y is equal to c1 plus c2x into e raised to 3x. So here are the some examples. One can solve these 5 examples, and also the answers are given, and one can verify your answers with the answers given here. So in this video, the important part is rules to find the complementary function. So in the next part, we will see how to find the particular integral when the RHS is exponential function. Thank you very much for watching.